Hey YouTube! Today my girlfriend showed me this awesome aluminum wine rack designed by Victor Herrström, and she asked me if I could make it. I started off with a 3D model to get all the dimensions to know what size aluminum to order. I ended up with a 2mm sheet of 50-52, measuring 12 by 48 inches. I also picked up the $75 bending brake from Harbor Freight. In addition to that, I picked up an aluminum saw blade to cut my pieces. The bending brake was super easy to assemble, and I fastened it to some 3/4 inch plywood to keep it flat. From my 3D model, I grabbed all the dimensions and sketched them onto the aluminum. I then used a 2x4 as a guide for both the sketches and to help me cut straight lines with my circular saw. I made a couple test bends with some scrap and they came out good. It definitely took some getting used to and some practice, but it did get easier. I 3D printed two separate angle gauge blocks for the two angles I was going for. One was an underbend of 84 degrees and the other was an overbend of 96 degrees. The angles slope the bottles towards the wall and prevent them from rolling outwards. I ended up cutting some of the plywood base because, as you can see, the back bends dip below the workstation, and I needed to bend it in that orientation. The bending brake uses a pressing plate that you clamp down 1/8 of an inch away from where you want it to bend. Then when you raise the levers, the bending happens in that gap you left. From this angle, you can really see why I needed to cut that plywood. I should have placed the bending brake at the edge of the sheet, but what's done is done.
Stand her down.
Anyways, the next stage was the center punch, then drill holes. Then I wanted to slightly countersink the holes and file down the barbs left behind. I also passed the file on the edges to make it a little less sharp and prevent my girlfriend from cutting herself when she pulls the bottles out. Now for the most anticipated and satisfying part of this project, removing the blue sticker. I kept this on till the end just to reduce the risk of scratching, and I think it did a great job. It was so satisfying pulling this off, but I wasn't expecting the ink to be left on the aluminum itself. I was a little worried that it wouldn't come out, or be embedded deep into the metal. But after taking a magic eraser and some warm water to it, it did slowly come out. The aluminum looks a lot better than I expected, and I didn't have to polish it or anything. Now all that was left to do was to hang it up and see if it could actually hold bottles. I sank one side into a stud and the other into some sheetrock anchors. I did put the screw holes in a bit of an awkward angle for my drill, but I got them all in and that's what matters. Now for the moment of truth. Were the slots big enough for the bottles? And could it hold all the bottles? And the answer to both is yes. My girlfriend loves it. It's exactly what she was looking for, plus it's homemade. Not too shabby for my first metal bending attempt. Time to go celebrate with a bottle. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you learned anything or found this entertaining, it'd be awesome if you left a like and a comment. See you all in the next project. Bye, YouTube.